We're not looking to be like a competitor. We're not looking for that sort of profit margin. We are looking to create a school where children flourish and everything is about them. Everything that we do is about them.
Hello, and welcome again to Voices of Education, where we explore stories of innovation, inspiration, and impact in education. I'm your host, Saima Shah, co-founder at Synapses, your partners in education strategy and innovation. At Synapses, we believe that every great school has a heartbeat, a vision, and a story worth sharing. Today, we are shining the spotlight on one such school, BC Academy International School and Nursery in Dubai, a place that is redefining what a modern British curriculum school can look and feel like. And to take us behind the scenes, we are joined by the incredible Zara Harrington, principal at BC Academy, whose leadership and energy are helping shape BC Academy into one of Dubai's most exciting learning communities. So please join me in welcoming Zara Harrington. Welcome, Zara.
Thank you. I feel like I need a fanfare or something for that introduction.
It's such a pleasure to have you. And I
Thank
cannot
you.
actually wait to start all the questions. So I would like to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Before I actually start talking about the school, because that is the whole purpose, because we want to know the world of BC Academy through you, I would want you to share a bit about your journey, how you came into this field of education, and for how long have you been here in the UAE, and how is this journey going so far?
Okay. So brace yourselves, because this isn't quite a straightforward journey. So I actually left university. I studied a business enterprise at university, and I went into hotel management. So I went into the sort of tourism, travel and tourism field, did hotel managing for nearly 10 years. And every time I went into a school to give a talk about work experience or, you know, come and join this field, or have you thought about going into hotel management or tourism? Every time I walked into the school, I would leave and they would say, you have to go into teaching. You know, you are a teacher. And I was like, oh no, I cannot work with children. It's not what I want to do. And then slowly but surely I thought, well, maybe I could, or maybe I could do that. And I decided to do something very drastic and very different. Never been into a school before, never even done anything in teaching. So I decided that I would go and live and work in India and set up a slum school, because I decided that if I could do that without any type of resources, then I was going to be an okay teacher. So then I went in to teaching. Because I was already a hotel manager, I ended up climbing the ranks of teaching quite quickly, because I already had a lot of leadership qualities and skills that I could transfer across. And now I am 14 years a principal. When I say it out loud, it's a really long time.
Yeah.
And 11 of those have been here in the UAE.
Oh, that's great. That's inspiring, actually. And you know, when you talk about this thing that you were into hotel management, you were actually dealing with people, right? And when it comes to education, of course, you have to deal with people in the most kind way, and you have to understand them. So that's a great journey that you've shared with us, and it's inspiring. I think I did not prepare much about yourself. Had I known this earlier, I would have, spoken quite a lot about you. So coming to the school, for someone who may not yet know BC Academy, how would you describe it in a few words, and what makes it stand out in Dubai's ever-evolving educational landscape?
I mean, Dubai is a very busy place in education. And we always say that BC Academy is a boutique school. It's a small school. We're not looking to be like a competitor. We're not looking for that sort of profit margin. We are looking to create a school where children flourish and everything is about them. Everything that we do is about them. So we spend a huge amount of our time looking at research, reading about it, looking at everything else that's done before we make a decision. And when we make our decision, it's always based on educational research and not necessarily following a trend.
Okay, so it's what you're trying to say is that students sit at the heart of every decision that you make.
Everything.
Okay, that's nice. So coming to that, every great school starts with a vision, right? What was the original dream or mission behind the BC Academy's creation? And how has it evolved since its inception?
So it actually evolved with the founders. So the founders of the school are actually a husband and wife, and they were looking for a school for their child.
Okay.
They toured, I'm sure, hundreds of schools, and every school that they went to when their eldest was 3, ready to go in, they just couldn't find something that would meet what they considered his needs. So they wanted somewhere that was warm. They wanted somewhere that was inviting. They wanted somewhere that was academic rigor, but they were looking for something that would give him the skills for the future. And they just couldn't. They could find elements of all of those in different places, but not all in one place.
Okay.
So they actually originally started BC Academy, I'm going to say about 15, 16 years ago.
Okay.
And they ended up filling it with their son and his friends to start with. And then they soon realised, well, hang on a minute, everyone wants to be part of it. And they evolved very quickly. So they've now got 8 early learning centres, which is children up to age 7, and 4 all through schools, which is children obviously up to age 18. And so they grew quite quickly with this ethos of everything is about the child. We'll equip them with tech skills, we'll equip them with how to speak in a boardroom, we'll equip them with all of the other what we call soft skills, maybe you could refer them to, or transferable skills, and with the academic rigour. So that's what started it. Then they had some interesting conversations and visits from here, the UAE, the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
And they visited them in their home country, and they liked what they were doing. They liked how it was different. They liked the ethos of the school. And they visited over a period of time. And then they thought, well, maybe we should branch out, or maybe we shouldn't. And I think they took a couple of years. Then COVID hit. Everything changed in the world with COVID. And then they decided, no, we'll try the UAE. So this is their first school in the UAE. I'm sure that they've learnt so much because the education landscape is different here.
Yeah, true.
So where they're coming from, it isn't sort of market heavy. It isn't sort of quite sharky in that world.
Okay.
You know, there's a marketing budget, but nowhere near what you need here in the UAE, for example. And everything's non-for-profit there, and everything goes back into the children. So this is a whole new world for them. And I'm sure they'd openly say, you know, the first year, they started it last November, so they've been operating a year. And it's been a really interesting, probably difficult year for them to learn. And they're hands-on, but not hands-on. Hands-on in terms of passion, but not hands-on in terms of interfering. And I think that's a really important distinction for me as a principal. As in, you know, when I go back to site today, I've got a strategic meeting with them about the future, what we need to improve on the site, which is really nice to have a conversation with 2 other passionate people. They both came into education later like I did. And I like that about them. They were in IT and in journalism originally, and then they did a master's in education. So that meant that they've sort of got that bit. So the conversations we have are really enjoyable to take the school forward. So that's where we are.
Right. So I believe every new country brings its own challenges, right?
Yes.
But then it is pretty exciting at the same time because you learn a great deal, you know, along the way. Like you mentioned yourself that you do those strategic meetings to, you know, to find out, you know, what can we do more about it? How can we be better? Because education is a non-stop learning, right? You keep upgrading yourself every other day. So you've been leading the school, right? And they say that every leader brings their own leadership philosophy to table. What belief and values drives your leadership at BC Academy?
For me, the culture, and you know the phrase, the culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's me through and through. I value people.
Okay.
Whether they're little people, whether they're big people,
you know. We just talked about it, you know, before we started it,
Yeah, so for me, people are important. And the culture of the school, balancing lots of different things, I said the other day to the staff, we're all spinning at least 50 plates, if not more. I've left a coffee at the cafeteria for you to grab at some point today, because you're spinning these plates. I'm very grateful you're spinning these plates, but you're doing it for the children. And I think it's important for me. It's the little things that make the difference. And maybe they might be unspoken. Maybe they might be just a coffee left for you. Maybe it might just be a thank you. But for me, that creates a culture where I don't want anyone to have Sunday dreads. When you're thinking about the week ahead, I don't want anyone sat that is working with me to think, oh my goodness, what am I doing this week? I can't do this, or I don't want to do this. I don't want that in my building, in my vicinity. I want people to come in, even though it's hard, and go, right, we're a team, we can do this. So that's my mark, connecting with people. I do like to chat a lot. Everything can be solved over a cup of tea in my world.
Yeah, that makes the two of us.
And so, when all else is fail, let's pause, let's make a cup of tea, and then let's just talk about it and see what that is. And I think that for me was very important. And when I met the team for the first time in August, I gave sort of a 20-minute presentation about me to the leadership team. Some of these are stepping into leadership for the first time. Some of them were experienced leaders, but they were new to BC Academy. Okay. And so for me, it was important to have that connection with them. And some people said I was vulnerable. I just think I was honest. And I think it depends on how you look at it. And I did 20 minutes all about me. And I said to them, if you don't know your why, then this isn't going to work for you in education. And my why was definitely about creating teams and connection, and I know that's my why. And I showed them the Rita Pearson clip about children always need a champion, and said I didn't know that was my why for probably my first about 3 years of being a principal. I didn't know why I was a principal. I didn't. I was promoted, and I was very grateful, and I was being successful, but I didn't know my core why. And then I watched a Rita Pearson clip, TEDx talk, and I was like, oh, that's my why. And so I showed it to them and said, guys, this is my why. If you don't know yours, then you need some time to reflect and find yours. So that's where we are.
Yeah, it's not about enjoying positions. It's about understanding why you're in that position in the first place. That's wonderful. So I do see that, you have a great team, and they say that teamwork makes the dream work.
Apparently so.
Because I've been following you on LinkedIn, and I have seen, some of your posts with your staff members, and I do see how people are cheering for you. And that is a lot about what kind of leader you are.
Yeah, so, I do have some great cheerleaders.
So we have done quite a research about you. So coming to learning, which is the heart of any school, what kind of learners are you nurturing at BC Academy? Because you talked about soft skills and everything. When it comes to 21st century skills, curiosity, creativity, and inquiry, are they just buzzwords, or how do you actually embed it into your daily classroom practices?
Oh, so that's our trade secret, because actually because it's a new school, we had time to be flexible, to rewrite everything. Okay. And the British curriculum is a rigorous curriculum. It's cyclical. It requires a huge amount of input, but you can also be extremely creative with it if you know the curriculum. Yeah. So we took apart, for want of a better word, all of the objectives, and goes, right, okay, what skills are they asking for, and what can we layer in? So we have an entrepreneur strand that runs through our schools. So the children do, depending on their age, they'll either do 1 lesson or 2 lessons just purely on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Which takes all of the skills into it. Most recently, we did a market for them. And I had children that were just 5 that had made a product. They'd thought about the marketing, and they were selling it. Now, they were selling it to the parent community. Okay. There is that part of it. But everything came from them. And so they were looking at that, and at how to be creative with that. And what they did on that particular day, one, it was a great event, but it wasn't just an event, all the run up to it, and the parents were then getting involved. And many of our parents are actually entrepreneurs themselves, so they have a different type of mindset, and are actually looking for those skills, that collaboration, that connection, and that ability to, well, be different.
Yeah.
With the technology skills as well. So we're a Google school. We all use Chromebooks. So that's very important for them to know how to use it correctly, safely. So that part of it is layered in. But on the other side of it, with the entrepreneurship, they're building towards something that they didn't even know that they could do. So my year ones, who are 5 years old, came up with all these different ideas of, roping in even neighbours and people from their compounds where they live to make cookies with them to sell. So this went beyond just the school walls and the school day. This went into the community. I'm not sure who enjoyed it more, the parents or the children, because there was a bit of a buzz for the entire day. And it's a now what? Now when's the next one? And the next one's booked for February. So on Monday, myself and actually the founders are doing a lesson with the children on, okay, this is what you did. So now we really look at profit and loss with them. Okay, this is what it was. This is where it is. And you're talking to children that are 5, which, grasping basic skills. They're applying all of those math skills that they already have into actual businesses. And that's what we're looking to do differently. And that is what our core ethos is about making sure these children just approach things differently. So during the actual day, my year 3s who are 7, they decided that, hang on a minute, there's people walking around that don't know our store. Maybe there was people stood in front of them. So they made these little tickets, handheld tickets, and were just running up to people and going, come over to our stall. They did all of that by themselves on looking at this market, looking at how many other stalls were there and going, I need those people to come to my store, but how do I get them to come over? And so they were thinking about lots of different ways. They made these little tickets and come over and you can put it in a jar and you might win something. And it was that kind of sort of entrepreneur spirit. And then my older children, they were my year 6s, so they're 10, 11. Found their parent found an app, and you'd go there and they'd say cash or card. And you were like, where did this come from? And it was that kind of spirit that you go, they've really thought about this, they've discussed this, they've collaborated, and then now moving forward it would be, okay, are you staying in those teams? Are you changing them around? Are you going to do it independently? Are you going to do it together? So all of that is already embedded in our curriculum.
I mean, that's quite engaging. So your students at your school, they're not just playing with Legos, they're actually entrepreneurs.
Completely. Year 1 right through are ready to go.
Yeah. And these are the skills that students need these days. You're not just preparing them for exams, but for life, actually. And I kind of enjoyed listening to all this. So this is a message for all the readers out there, because Zara has spilled the secret. I guess all of us can take meaningful key takeaways from that. Okay, so Zara, this question was about learners. We have talked a bit about your team. What kind of teachers thrive at BC Academy's environment? And how do you help them grow professionally?
So actually, interestingly, I know we spoke about this earlier, but my team are actually interviewing today because we're a growing school. So we have spaces for next year. And it's not about their academic rigour or anything. It's about will they fit into our team? And it is a different type of mindset. It's people that are empathetic and kind. That for us is a given. You're coming into a team. I want these people to embrace being in a team. So for example, it's actually a colleague's birthday today, and on birthdays we decorate the desk, we do all of those kind of things. And so this person's walked into school this morning. It's my birthday, it's an adult, people will say happy birthday and greeted with balloons and cakes and things like that, and he's gone, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And it's that kind of connection that we have as a community that we look for. So I want them to be kind. I want them to be obviously academic, rigorous, and I also want them to be able to take risks.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative connotation. I mean that in a positive of, I've got this idea, can I run with it or not? And the answer will always be absolutely. Absolutely, let's go for it, because they've seen something that will benefit the children and they're willing to run the idea, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, right. So yeah, the teachers in your team can actually take risks. And
Yes.
they're not afraid of, trying new things, because at times new things, they do bring great results. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to let them be themselves, and you have, kind of created that element of trust that your staff needs. So I was visiting the school website, and I loved your school's motto. It's belong, challenge, achieve. Could you break that down for us? What does each word means in practice?
So we actually use this in a lot of things. So actually, the Belong, Challenge, Achieve is BCA, BC Academy.
Oh, okay.
So
I did not know. I mean, I was kind of thinking about it. What does it mean? What does it mean? So I even asked ChatGPT, what does it mean? Now I know.
Chat is our colleague in our school. We do like Chat. And we call him our colleague. We'll just ask our colleague Chat.
Okay.
So in terms of Belong, Challenge, Achieve, that sense of belonging, and that goes in all elements. So that goes into actual human beings.
Right.
It goes into curriculum, it goes into everything like that. So we want them to feel a huge sense of belonging. So if they're in the sports team, if they're in the Orion house, if they're in the Year 5 classroom, they're all different parts of belonging, and we want them to feel a part of all of those things under that BCA umbrella. Challenge for us is lots of different elements. So we're not just talking academic rigor and challenge. We're talking those stepping outside your comfort zone. Those year ones, they're going to talk about that market. That's going to be an ingrained memory. No one remembers a maths lesson or an English lesson from school.
True.
They will remember the sports day that they won the medal. They'll remember the market day where they, sold something for 80 dirhams. They're going to remember those things. So for us, achievement is everything else, including the academics. So if they're going to stand on stage and do a presentation, that's a massive challenge there. They may be quite shy as a character. They may want to go into a different group or buddy up reading. We do a huge amount across the school as well. So the older students and the younger students working together, reading, playing together, the play leaders. So all of that is in the challenge. Let's take them beyond what they think that they can do. And then achieve, well, it says that's pretty simple. Achieve what they didn't think was possible.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I now know first of all, the exact name of the school and the purpose behind it as well. So when it comes to, because we were earlier talking about how nice the building is, and there's so many activities as well. Would you like to shine some light on what kind of extracurricular activities do students have at your school?
So we actually call it Enrichment, is what we call it.
Yeah.
And we actually have 2 hours a day of enrichment, so from 3 till 5 p.m. And the reason that we do that is that we want the academics to happen and all of those things, but we want them to also really explore a variety of other activities. So we have literally everything you can think of available to them. So we have sailing. Okay. We have ice hockey, we have gymnastics, we have piano, we have robotics, we have Lego, education, we have...
I need to come and visit between 3 to 5 p.m. so I can enjoy all these activities.
And then we have a variety of language programs.
Okay.
We have drama, we have literally everything, plus all the sports, the basketball, the football, the paddle, everything you can imagine. So the children... we call it in a British phrase, pick and mix. You pick and mix what you want to do. Okay. And what we do at BC Academy is as our school day technically finishes at 3:00, and we actually run enrichment till 5, and we serve a hot dinner for the children at 4:00. So a working parent can collect their child at 5 p.m. They've been fed, they've done homework or enrichment, and they're collecting them at 5. And we all know the Dubai traffic, although there isn't isn't any traffic around
Yeah,
BC
yeah.
because of where we're located.
Okay.
But they take them home. They're not thinking about, okay, I've got to cook them something. I've got to do that. So they're collecting them. They've been fed. We know children always want snacks. So there'll definitely be a snack given, but they don't need to think about a hot dinner because it's served at 4:00. So we do one activity, they have their hot dinner, then they do a second activity, and then the buses can take them home or the parents can pick them up. So again, it's just about being true to parents and families' lives as well. And parents are very busy now. Very, very busy now. So we've just got to make sure that we help them too.
Yeah, they must be at ease now. I mean, the kids have been well taken care of by the school, yeah?
Absolutely.
Not only academically, but of course, meal-wise as well.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that? So talking about parents, since you're helping them big time, how do you make them the part of BC Academy's story? Like, how do they support you? What kind of relationship do you have with the parents at BC Academy?
They're fantastic, actually. They are our biggest advocates. They want to be involved, and they always say to me, just tell me what you want me to do. And we have a parental session actually on Wednesdays. It's led by Parents for Parents.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, lots of our parents are entrepreneurs, so they've got amazing stories and amazing qualities to give to others and to share. So we have this cafe area where they can come in, they can connect with each other. They do a huge amount of supporting each other, sharing information. It really is quite a close-knit community, and it's very welcoming to those that are joining as well. So it's, oh yes, we're doing this, or we're going to have coffee here, or let's meet and walk around. And because of the location of the school, there's a really nice coffee shop near it, and parents go, they connect together. We have yoga for them. There's lots of other things that they can do as part of it. And most of them just want to go to school again. Most of them
I want to go to school again, listening to all these amazing stories. So what I see is that it's not only the students who feel involved at school, but the parents as well, right?
Yes.
That's an amazing culture. I mean, it takes time to build that, and since you have built that in a year's time, that is something very, very inspiring. So I have a fun question for you. So if I were to walk into a classroom at BC's Academy, what might surprise me about what's happening there?
The children will all want to talk to you. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of waving and a lot of hi, I'm here. And then there'll be some of these kind of looks of, come over here because I want to show you something.
Okay.
It was interesting. I toured someone the other day, I think Tuesday. We were looking to do some activities with them, some enrichment activities. And I don't know what they were expecting when they walked in, but they were literally like, everywhere we went, and all they kept saying to me is, it's very calm here. And I said, yeah. Look, what do you expect? And they said, well, you've got children. And I said, but they're busy. They're learning, they're focused. And I think for me, it will be a sense of calm that you would get, that maybe when you've got a lot of children in a building, you're thinking, there's going to be lots of noise.
Noises, yeah.
And actually what you can hear in BC Academy, it's like a little hum. A hum of busyness is what I would call it. And we have some music playing as you first walk into the reception. And our sort of mindset on that is we want you to feel like you're coming into sort of a boutique hotel. And everyone that walks in goes, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So when you come up to the gate, and we have a red carpet outside, because everyone needs to walk down a red carpet every day.
Right.
And you have a strut as you're walking in going, right, this is my day. I'm kind of going in. And as you walk through from the red carpet into the main reception, I've got a fantastic admin team that will be greeting you. Yes, sure, give you a tea, give you a coffee, and then just that sort of sense of hum and relaxed, and everyone's smiling, which I think is a rarity in a school. Normally people are busy and they're going around. And in the classrooms, this hum of activity where they're getting excited about what they're learning. you'll see them use technology in a way that is integrated into the lesson. So it doesn't replace anything. We teach them how to use it correctly and integrate it in. I mean, for me, I'm old, I know, it's okay. I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm an old lady. But mobile phones for me came out after I've left university. So technology for me is definitely an add-on into my life. Whereas these children, that they've grown up with it, they can integrate it into them. So it's about using very cleverly immersive readers in our Nearpod, in our Google Classrooms. So there is no barriers to their learning. So if they are learning English, that's okay. They can immerse that reading into any language. They can still participate in that lesson. And the teachers, the facilitators are sort of managing everything around them, doing it quite expertly, but looking like it's very effortless.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think the parents whose kids are not studying at BC Academy would now know why they should choose BC Academy. Because, you have told us all the amazing things, not only the culture, the kind of learning that's happening there, but also about the facilities that, that are there for the children. And of course, keeping them till 5 p.m. That is going to be the biggest plus point for the parents. So Zara, thank you so very much for your insights, for helping us get to know BC Academy. Where I think you're not preparing students for exams, but for life itself. Before we wrap it up, I would want you to, if there is any message that you would like to give to the educators out there, I mean, the kind of learning that they need to, do in the modern world, what would that be?
I think for educators, I think they have to stay connected with each other, regardless of maybe school groups they work in or anything like that. Stay connected, because you learn so much from each other. And in terms of everything else, do a lot of reading. Educators need to read more. They need to look at the research. They need to read more, because sometimes they're making decisions based on no research, and that's when things don't always go right, and it's okay not to know everything.
Yeah. Thank you so very much
once
again. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. Stories like these remind us that education is not just about teaching. It's about transforming lives through passion and purpose. This is Saima Shah, and you have been listening to Voices of Education. Until next time, see you again.